Hello everyone, this is Sue from SueStarcraft, and I'm bringing you action today from week 2 of the King of the Islands tournament, being hosted by yours truly, and with me I have Antaron. Antaron, say hello.
Hey everyone.
Okay, Antaron, anything looking forward today? We have Nazy versus Mez. Do you know much about these players?
Well, I saw Nazy last week. I don't know much about Mez, but apparently likes to scout extremely early. One of his first probes just came out, so that'll be interesting to see what he's doing with that. He's trying to go for a proxy or something.
Okay, I honestly have not have had much experience with Mez, but I think he's one of those forgating players who just likes to constantly forgate, so it'll be interesting to see if he tries that on Nazy. Nazy, a player with a lot of experience versus forgate, so I don't think it's gonna work. So, PvT on Lost Temple, what are your thoughts on Antron?
I think that the cliff can be pretty annoying, with the Terran drops, but other than that, I don't think it's too bad. Ooh, forgot to he chrono boosted a little early there. That could hurt him, but not too bad. I think the cliff can be a little annoying with the drops, but other than that, I don't think it's too bad. There are also the island expansions that you get to with a Metavax, which obviously already bolster the bio army if Nazi goes for that, which he typically does against Protoss. So
Okay,
we'll see.
excellent. What are your thoughts as well about Protoss walling off versus Terran? Because it's something I don't like to do. I think it leaves the early buildings a little too vulnerable to Marauders and Marines.
I don't like it at all. Yeah, when you're really if you're scouting a lot of early pressure, your initial observer or what have you, you really need to back up and kind of form a little concave around that wall and force field them off. And this kind of lets the Marauders pick off the buildings. So I don't like that at all.
Okay, excellent. So we see Nazi scouting now. Nazi is gonna find us where Mez is. From the early scout, he should have had an idea. Seeing two gates going on now from Mez, and it's gonna be scouted, so that could probably not work out for him. It's a bit weird to see him trying to get a Terran player, but well, who knows? I have a feeling he's gonna cancel this, but he has a lot of minerals banked up, so it's gonna be interesting if he goes through this or if he tries to switch it up and go back to a Cybercore.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what he was trying to do here. Maybe he was just trying to throw Nazi, give him a weird look or something. That's something different because um, I don't think. I mean, his pylon obviously isn't coming in time for. Well, now his probes are building. Yeah, he's not building out of that other gateway, so I don't really know what his plan is right now. Oh, there he goes.
Okay, so we've seen some double zealots, the accelerators up, but nothing mining. Now getting a couple workers mining on it. Mez not looking very convincing right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just a little rattled. I'm not sure what's going on in his head. If he's trying to give Nazi like a weird look to kind of throw him off a little bit, but it looks like he's just kind of doing what he's doing normally. Um, Obviously, with the wall off, these zealots aren't going to be very effective at doing much of anything.
Yeah, as well he's building extra pylons. That's not a good sign at all. A little background on Mez. Mez actually is a 1200 diamond player. Nazi up in 1700, I think. So Nazi actually favored to win this series pretty easily. And from what it seems, Nazi looks a lot cleaner than Mez at the moment. Nazi training a third barracks at the moment. Um, Producing Marauders has the concussive shell upgraded already, and a couple of workers coming out now, so we could probably see Nazi gonna try to do a little cheeky push.
Yeah, it looks that way. Although I'm surprised not to see a reactor on the second barracks in this kind of circumstance, um, or something like that. So I guess we'll see. Okay, now he's pushing out some SCVs, so I guess he's going to try to build a bunker to distract him. And really, with only zealots, this is going to be really. Oh wow, he's breaking the gold rocks. This is a really bold maneuver by Matt, to say the least.
It's either bold or noob. I think I'll go with the ladder, with the ladder, sorry. So yeah, Nazi, a big fan of Foxer from the GSL, that's the fake boxer. So we're gonna see a lot of early Marine and SCV pushing. And to be frank, I really don't think that Mez has enough to hold us off. And I think it's gonna be GG in game one.
Well, I think if he brought back his zealots and micro, okay, now I think it's pretty. It's going to be pretty rough. He really needs to get a couple stalkers out. He needs to micro that zealot back. But he got the marauders, so
Um,
uh,
some
I don't this is a terrible position for Protoss because it was making two more zealots as opposed to stalkers. That could be troublesome. At least he does have an immortal coming out. Um, Warp Gate's about to finish, so he'll get instantly another production cycle as soon as that's done. I think he'll be able to hold off this push, but there's not an expansion going now. Wow, a fourth? What? A fourth barracks is in Nasy's base. I'm not sure what exactly he's going to do with that, but I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah, I think Mez is really in a lot of mess right now, and now we're gonna see the reason why Protoss don't like to wall off against Terran. Those marauders will just take out those pylons, and all of a sudden you have no gateways.
Oh, the Immortal's targeting the Marine. That could cost him if it dies. Oh boy, that was big. That was big. The Immortal going down there.
Okay, well at the same time Nazi, okay, now he's starting to push up with some reinforcements. Mez under some more pressure here. He needs to get a couple sentries out. He has the gas to do it, to just try to buy some time and probably split Nazi's army. He has a lot of minerals banked up right now. Some poor macro from him. Nazi looking a lot better. And has wow, he tries to really expand as well, so that's just some very bad moves, and I think he lost the nexus that he was expanding with. Yeah, he did. He doesn't have the minerals, so some very sloppy play here from Mez, and not looking convincing at all.
Yeah, losing that 400 minerals was also big, and losing that Immortal. I mean, if he had that other Immortal, this push would just be. I mean, he held it off, but it just would have been completely dominated had he had that Immortal. Nazi's now putting down a command center.
Okay, and we also saw the difference of what one sentry makes in a mix of units for the Protoss. He was allowed to split that army just from Nazi and actually took it out with a lot less units. And Nazi coming up again. This is not looking good here for Mez. He has the sentry coming in, but a little bit late. It's warping in. He needs to get it up to the ramp and try to do something defensive with it. However, something to note out during all this, Nazi is trying to get up his expansion. Good move, sign of a good player. When you have the opponent down, according to D9, get an expansion up. Best thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to get it down, though. If Mez keeps on pushing right now, he has his Twilight just came up. I don't know what he's going to get there. But Nazi actually doesn't have a great superiority in units.
Okay, well actually that's true. All of a sudden Mez actually has a pretty nice force in front of Nazi's face. I think Nazi has enough to hold it off though.
He has a second Immortal coming, and plus reinforcements from that proxy pylon. I think this is horrible. Oh boy.
Oh wow. It's such painful to see Immortals go down like that. Immortal's such an expensive unit, such a good unit, but it's very expensive. So what are your thoughts? Should Nazi get this natural expansion, or should he take the safe island instead?
I definitely think the natural is easier to protect at this point. Boy, that is rough. If just small micros, that one Immortal he saved, that other Immortal that died at the ramp, or the Immortal he didn't save at his ramp.
Yeah.
A couple units could have allowed him to easily wipe out that force and kill off his command center or orbital command that Nazi landed. But now I think unless something really strange happens, I think Nazi's got this game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I was actually expecting this to end a lot earlier. It's reached the 13-minute mark, and I probably thought this was going to be one of those 5-minute games. If there's one thing about Nazi though, I think he's a little too aggressive when he has the advantage. And even though he's throwing wave after wave, it's wave after wave of wasted units. Probably just poke at Mez and just pull back and just keep him under pressure and contain him. And just throwing away the waves upon waves.
If Mez had matched to the probe count, or at least had a decent probe count compared to the Terran, I think he might be able to actually put down a Nexus and salvage something out of the game. Obviously, he's at a disadvantage, but the probe differential is really going to be come back to haunt him.
And Mez doing something I've never seen before, train up 2 simulators at natural expansion and no Nexus up. Never seen that before. As you know, a huge bio army, and I'm well, we've said it a million times, but Mez seems to survive every time we see it, but I think this could be it if Nazi does decide to push here. He should have at least one Comstar to see up the hill though. He doesn't have that at the moment. His Optical Command has 47, 48 energy, so he could do it now if he doesn't waste that energy.
Yeah, I think Nazi doesn't even really have to push up the ramp. I mean, obviously he can sit and really just continue to build units, having denied his opponent the expansion. But it looks like he is going to be aggressive and try to end it now.
Yeah, I think the scan was a bit premature there. Should have saved it in case he got force field. But that being said, he's in a phenomenal position right now. Having a look at the army tab, Nazi has double the food of Mez, actually more than double, 102 to 48. So Mez not looking good. He has charge on the zealots, but that's going to be very limited in terms of efficiency. Sorry, effectiveness. But somehow, once again, Mez holds it off, and he holds it off pretty well.
Yeah, and Nazi continues to have a lot of marauders, and obviously the immortal zealot sentry is good against that. He does have a Nexus coming up, so but again, the probe differential right now, 26 to 38. That's really going to be, I think, what did him in. Because even now he has that Nexus up, I just don't think there's any way.
Yeah, and I think Mez has probably finally decided to throw in the towel here. He's sighing and he's GGing, so that's it for game 1. Nazi making easy work of Mez in game 1. It's up to game 2. It'll be interesting to see what map Mez chooses.